Welcome to UFO Zen. I haven't done anything for quite a while as far as videos here. There is so much going on that it's very difficult to keep track of and stay up on, like stay on top of. I watch this Psicoactive Podcast. That's basically the only one I watch. The guy covers, it's basically curation of what's happening in the space, right? But he's quite good at picking out the things that matter, and so it cuts through the noise, and I don't have to watch 15 videos anymore. I just watch the short clips that he curates, which is really quite super helpful. I got a huge jump on my website as far as traffic recently, people coming to the site. I'm not sure why. I haven't looked at which pages they were looking at, but there's so many things going on here, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about some of them. I think the first thing is that Richard Dolan, starting as late as 3 years ago probably, began to say that he doesn't really think that disclosure is going to come from the government at all. He said he just can't see it happening. And I came out and said, no, it's happening. There's no way to stop it. The force that's moving forward towards disclosure is moving forward. It has a lot of strength. It has a lot of backing. There's hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people that are involved in trying to get disclosure in whatever way, people watching videos, people that are familiar with the topic, right? Here we are 3 years later in 2025, September, and I'm starting to see maybe what Richard saw years ago, but the government isn't letting go of this. Donald Trump, before he got elected, and I think even shortly after he was elected, said he was committed to getting a lot of files released in the UFO field that have been kept secret for many decades. That doesn't seem to be happening at all. He's shut up about that completely. His son has shut up about that. What is going on there is that it looks like the CIA and whatever group is managing disclosure at the very top of this, the ones that hold the keys to unlocking literally anything that's relevant and substantial. It looks like that group isn't letting the president do that. Do they really have the power over the president to limit what he says? Yeah, they do. There are programs that are so secret that they can't risk, a president like John F. Kennedy who is disclosing things that he shouldn't, disclosing things that need to be kept secret in order for America to maintain their status as the most powerful country in the world and dominant country in the world. That's what this group is really, that's what they do. That's what they ensure. They are ensuring through secrecy of whatever they need to that USA remains number one. I didn't see that so well before. I didn't really understand how intricately enmeshed the UFO idea and technology and things. I didn't really see how that all was so formidable a thing. Now I see, or I'm starting to see, the government isn't letting this out. I say government, this group isn't letting it out. There's just no way. There's just no way. So Lou Elizondo, who came out, to disclose some things, probably with the CIA's approval. I mean, definitely with the CIA's approval. Other people who have come forward in limited capacity to state some things have come forward with executive branch, government, military, and this group's approval of what they're saying. There are some people that are kind of random. Dr. Eric Davis, seemed originally to come out with his own thing and just be completely fed up with the secrecy of it, and used to tread the line, like just barely be below the line, or above the line rather, of what seemed like must be top secret information, right? He would just kind of get loose-lipped a little bit and just start riffing and say some things that people just blew me away a number of times. The Ross Coulthart seems to have been influenced by somebody who told him that Lockheed Martin had the technology for the Tic Tacs. But not only that they actually were Tic Tacs made by, this is what the pilots saw from the Nimitz, they're actually Tic Tacs made by an American company. So this information, at the highest level, in an attempt to throw disrepute, right, on Ross Coulthart, because Ross Coulthart has done some amazing things in this space as far as his interviews and his, it seems, almost 100% dedication to the space. What better for this group than to throw some cold water on that, right? So Ross lost some face in that situation, which is, it's a battle. It's really a Richard Dolan knew. Richard Dolan had this feeling that the government isn't letting this out. This group isn't letting this out, no matter what. And I have to say, I think that's right now. I have to eat my words because I wrote Richard, I can't remember, did I leave just comments or did I also write him email, because I had his email because he had some website issues and other things. But yeah, we just had a brief exchange. But yeah, I don't see now that this group is ever going to let that out. It's just too tied into national security with, if we do let it out, then it comes out that America does have some of this tech. Some of it was back engineered. It doesn't make any sense that none of it was. So some of it was. And we've had some cool advances for some of our bombers and things that may have come from this tech. I think that what our focus now should be is only citizen, public investigation into the topic. I don't believe in direct contact like CE5 or anything like that. I think that is opening the door to your mind for negative experiences, and maybe profoundly negative experiences. I was brought up Christian, so I remember my mom telling me a number of times, telling us kids, I had a brother and sister, but telling us a number of times not to let Satan into your mind by entertaining ideas of it, or by opening a door through Ouija boards or something like that. Mom knew, or thought she knew, that it was evil back then. Like that was a doorway into your head. Even today, like some people are saying, it is a doorway into your mind. I've had some experiences here. I've had some download experiences. that just seemed to come into my mind, and I typed them out. I did write one down. I did video also as it came into my head. And it seems to be, somebody else said this recently, it seems to be a direct channel of disinformation coming straight into your head, if you allow that. And so I allowed it. Maybe I have eight different sessions of that. I allowed that to happen, but then I just said, you know what, I can't tell where this is coming from. I'm not getting any good answers, and I'm not going to be a conduit to disinformation, if that's what it is. I just said, you know, screw this shit. I'm not doing that anymore. I have had super odd visual experiences with UFOs. I mean, blatant, like impossible to call anything else except anomalous. And just one I'll tell you quickly, because I probably said it here before on the channel, but going to a mountain where I do snake hunts and things, I show people wildlife at night, and going to the rainforest, driving down a country road. There are houses there, and the mountain is in back where I'm going, and I can see it just barely on the horizon at first. I'm riding my motorbike, and I'm aware of a bright light up to my left. It's like a billboard. It's literally like a billboard, but the biggest billboard in this town. It's not a big town. This is Thailand, southern Thailand. So, I mean, a huge billboard, say 4 meters by 3 meters, like 13 feet by 9 feet or so. Maybe bigger, probably bigger, because it was quite far away. But it had rows of lights, brilliant, shining rows of lights. Some were red. There was at least one red row. I can't remember. I drew a picture of it. This was 5 years ago or so. Brilliant, shining, bright white lights and red lights in a row. Say 12 lights. I can't remember exactly how many, but like not spotlights, because it didn't shine a bright spot. I couldn't see a spot shooting out, but it was just brilliant, like Times Square. Only 70, 100 feet off the ground. I'm sorry, 70, 100 meters off the ground. And maybe 100 meters from my face, maybe 70 meters, probably more like 100. And just up there. And I think they were pulsing. I have to look at the description, but I think they pulsed in and out. But when they were bright, they were so bright. You could have seen them for 50 miles. You could have seen them for 30 miles for sure. I've seen 30-mile distances before, and yeah, you certainly could see those bright lights 30 miles away. So I looked at it, and I'm riding the motorbike, so I looked at it, I look at the road, I looked at it, it's still there. I turn around, because I want to go back and check it out again. And as I turn around to come see it again, to do the same path, to look again, and it wasn't there. And I was just bewildered that there weren't people running out of their house to look at this thing. It was so bright. So I had asked, like sometimes we talk to the phenomenon and tell it things or ask it things, ask for proof, right? Like I've done that a number of times. And when I ask for proof, I say, because I've had so many odd experiences that could almost be, described or interpreted as something else, that wasn't so anomalous, that maybe just happened, or maybe it's just in my head or something. But I've said, over and over, like, if you're going to show me something that's obvious and unequivocal, like cannot be anything else but the phenomenon. Like, show me something like that. Why don't I get something like that? And the last time I asked something like that was months before this happened, but just out of the blue, bam, there it is. Like, I just got chills thinking about it. It was so dramatic and so concrete as proof. Like, there it is, you know. Here's your sign. Anyway, so I think that there is, I think that the public has a great deal of control over what we see, what we investigate, the experiences that we get from this phenomenon. I think that people are really pushing the bounds, the envelope, you know, when people are doing CE5 and inviting it in and calling it good. Chris Bledsoe is basically praying to the things, to the orbs that are flying around. He's basically praying to them. He doesn't know they're good. He had bad experiences, a number of bad experiences with the phenomenon, and yet, you know, this is a good thing to him. I'm very cautious about that kind of thing. I think that underlying this is something profoundly negative. Dr. Eric Davis just said something recently again. Somebody asked him, like, who would he subpoena, you know, as Congress? Like, Congress can tell anybody, go into a meeting and tell us everything you know, like swear basically on your life that, you know, this is the truth and this is what you know. He said he would get the ex-head of the CIA technology division, something Grazi or something, I can't remember, I didn't write down the name, but apparently he's not the head anymore, but he was. Dr. Eric Davis said that Congress should go straight to him and just forget about generals and admirals who know something, but they don't know much, they don't know enough. Dr. Davis said that, as many people have said who seem to know a lot more about this, the public, like, doesn't really want to hear the details of this because it's not, he said, it's not just triangles going into the ocean and popping back out and flying away. He said, that's not it. You know, there's quite a bit more to it, and the public, how did he say it, doesn't want to know the details or can't handle the details, and can't handle the details as well. So enough people have said how negative some of the aspects of this are, and to be honest, like, my thinking over the past year, because of that, and hearing it over and over and over, and then hearing about, oh, visitation, you know, in 2027, and then Chris Bledsoe with his Easter 2026 prediction that the Star of Regulus, you know, something about the Sphinx, in the view of the Sphinx, signifies a new knowledge coming to Earth, which sounds like a visitation, right? I believe that it's more negative than we think, in general, more negative than we want to believe. And so many of us in the community we insist on disclosure. It's got to happen now. It's got to happen. There's no going back. Disclosure has to come out. You know what? If disclosure, I mean, if the reality of this is that these things do arrive, whether it's 2026, 2027, or whenever, and there's a profoundly negative part to it. Some people are saying the Greys are super advanced and they're just biological beings that have been cloned or created by some super intelligence. But the super intelligence is supposedly thousands of years ahead of us, which makes sense to me. And that the Nordics and those that look similar to mankind like us are also more advanced, but say a couple hundred years advanced. And it doesn't seem like on an AI scale. It seems like a linear scale, that just accumulation of knowledge, but maybe without AI. Because as soon as a group hits AI, right, it goes exponential, and it goes, knowledge increases at such a rate that somebody advanced from us, which we're on the cusp of it, right? Anybody more advanced than us, a couple hundred years, has AI, we would think. But maybe the Nordics just avoided AI. Maybe they said, we don't want that as part of our lives. Maybe, right? But if they did, I mean, they're thousands of years also behind the Greys, who certainly have AI or have AI intelligence, right? AI intelligence levels. Somebody does out there. This tech that we see, in the sky, that can do anything, everything that we can't do, it can do. That's super impressive. I mean, making biological beings like the Greys or some of the other things also is super impressive, right? Elon Musk is just finally putting together his, what do you call it, Oculus? Is that the robot? Anyways, just, getting together these dozens of motors, just to do human movements in these robots that he's making. And I think there was something like 30 motors in an arm or something like that. I mean, just an incredible number. And it's not going to be perfect, but the Greys seem to move, well, I guess they're not all that fluid, and I guess they're not trying to move like humans, but they're able to operate on us. They're able to insert implants and things. They're able to, the Grey itself, it seems to be able to communicate to our minds directly without speech, which is quite advanced. But anyway, an AI that could make clones like that, make the Greys like that travel to here to do these things, is super intelligent. If the reality of this is that the Greys eat our children, I mean, what do we really need to know right now? If the reality is that we could put up no resistance, do we really want to know that something a million times the scale of the Jewish Holocaust is going to be upon us? God. In a couple years? Next year? Next Easter? It begins? Shit. It's, do we, say we were given that information today. Say disclosure happened today, tonight, wherever you are. It happened just now, coming across on every television screen, every YouTube live, through messages, through emails, through chat notifications of people telling you to share the information. Holy hell, they're here. They're landed already all over the world. You might even be able to see one outside your window if you looked. They're here now. They're laying down the law. The law is that all children are going to be taken, put them outside your house. We're going to take your children now, and then we're going to give you the rest of the rules shortly. And they say that there's no use to resist because we'll destroy you. Here, look what we can do to this herd of 2,000 cattle. And they show a video, or they show a mind picture. Maybe they put it in everybody's head. Here, we'll stick it in your mind. Just close your eyes for a second. Here's what we can do to 2,000 cattle. And they shoot something from the saucer. it turns to ashes, 2,000 cattle in a fraction of a second. And there's literally no hope for fighting back. Like, do we need to know that tonight? Jesus, I mean, people are taking this disclosure idea with a grain of salt, like, oh yeah, it's our right. It's our right to know this. It's been held secret for too long. Imagine if we knew they were coming. Imagine 80 years ago at Roswell, some of the aliens that were caught. I don't know if it's 80 years. I'm throwing out a crazy number. What was Roswell? 47, 53, 25, 78. Yeah, 78 years ago. What if all of the aliens that were alive when they crashed only had one message? It was, prepare yourselves for 2026 Easter, when the Greys come for your children first, and then they later enslave you, and they tell you how the world's going to be after that. Imagine if we knew that for 78 years, what the world would be like today. Just nuts. It wouldn't have gone on normally. Maybe that's what happened, but they didn't tell us. We've been a hell of a lot better off for the last 78 years, not knowing, because there's literally nothing we can do. We're on the cusp of AI, but we don't have AI that has its own consciousness or drive or sentience. It doesn't have its own mind to direct in order to fight these things. All we have is human intelligence that can hopefully direct our limited AI in some way to create novel weapons and things to maybe resist for a little bit. But to be honest, if somebody else, another group has AI and has had it for even a couple years, full-blown AI, AGI and super AI, AGI and super AGI, they're so far advanced from us, we couldn't hope to do anything. Like, there would be literally no hope. Do we need to be told something that we have literally no hope for? Eventually we do. And if it's going to be like this, maybe we should just learn about it on Easter, just like that. Because certainly we'll fight. Who's going to give up their kids? Not us. They'll pull my stomach out of my mouth and make me eat it back before I give up my kids. We're certainly all going to die resisting, but so be it. If that's like for hard choices that we have, imagine we have that hard choice. It's not really a choice, is it? We just resist and we die. So what? Personally, I think, life is overrated. I've had such a nice, long life and filled with experiences that, I can't say, oh, I need more life. Like, had plenty. I've had a really amazing life. It's been really good. I'm ready to defend my kids from anything, or try to defend and fail. It's fine. But I'm ready for that. You should maybe get ready for that. Like, you should maybe prepare yourself mentally for something inconceivable, such as that. They tell us, put your kids outside. We're going to take them tonight. We'll be back in a year. I just got chills. That's, you have some real hard decisions to make, wouldn't you? Ask yourself, what would you do? I know what I'll do already. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but insane decisions will need to be made at that point. Anyway, that's where I think it's going. I don't need government disclosure anymore. I'm not looking for it. I don't think it's happening anyway, so why waste time anymore? I wasted, since one of my real crazy experiences in 2013, I've been really locked into this UFO phenomenon and anomalous phenomena that are going on that seem to be related to UFOs. I've been locked in for 12 years. I've seen thousands of videos, I guess, by now. I've written a lot at ufoszen.com, but hardly anything, hardly. I've written a lot more on many other websites. I just find it hard to stay on top of things and hard to process things in order to write about it. This video, I've talked about some things that I think are important, and that there's something that most of us are not thinking about. It's the hard truth of it. It's the horrible truth of it. It's the real bad disclosure that maybe this group thinks they're saving us from. They're certainly saving the USA as like number one in security and power across the globe, right? That's their job. That's their main job, right? But I think in a way they're also saving us from admitting and the realization, the worldwide realization, that what is coming is so horrible that we can't even tell you about it. It's better we just don't even tell you. As I said, like if it was a worldwide message, the world would erupt. It would, and do we want that for a whole year? Not even a whole year, half a year, to next April? Do we want the world to just go completely fucking bananas? It already is going bananas in many, many places, right? But this would send the whole world, you tell the whole world that you're gonna have to give up your kids next April? Holy cow. Do we want that disclosure? Because I think that's what it is. I don't think it's give up your kids. I think it's something horrible. I think it's something who knows. I hate to get somewhat political here, but with the immigration of people from all over the world into other countries where they have no history, they have no background, they have no culture there, and they have no they have no desire to even join a country like that. They just want to be their own selves. And who knows why they're moving to that country, except their own country sucks. Who knows whether this phenomenon gradually or abruptly put into our minds that this immigration thing is a great idea. Who knows where it came from? Looks like it evolved over time, but maybe they evolved it over time, And maybe that's because in 2026, in April, on Easter Sunday, it's because they join us. Maybe they immigrate too. Maybe they assimilate into our world, but maybe they force us to take their beliefs, their rules, their restrictions. And to be honest with how fucked up the world is right now, it could end up to be a good thing. If it depends on what the whole context, what the whole deal is, right? We certainly don't have a great idea how to run this earth, how to deal with each other. We don't do well at it. Would it be nice to have somebody come here and redo the whole fucking thing? It could be. as long as they didn't, as long as they don't, as long as they respect our certain rights, you know, like certain, as long as they don't hurt us or torture us or take us or use us or, you know. But they just enforce like, hey, this is how it is now. This is how we treat the environment. This is what food is. Like, it's no longer this bullshit full of chemicals. This is food now. This is the definition of food. This is the definition of pudding. It's like natural ingredients. You know, like we have no more unnatural ingredients created in a laboratory. It doesn't matter if it's for preservatives. We don't need preservatives anymore because we have refrigerators. Everybody has refrigerators. We don't need preservatives anymore. Nothing uses preservatives. Like just these simple, like not simple, just revolutionize the entire world to make a utopia of sorts. Not our own utopia, but one that's forced on us, but that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Scientifically, technologically, morally. Maybe they force morals on the world. Maybe pedophiles are eliminated with the first offense. Maybe somebody who murders someone else without good cause, you know, like maybe they have their own morals about it. And like a dad who murders a pedophile who molested his son, it's okay. They don't, there's no problem there. That's justified. Maybe that's the morals they have. Maybe that's the utopia that is coming. Maybe that's what we need. Someone to remake the world. Someone to reset the world. Maybe. I'm starting to fear the negative aspect though. Everybody's talking about the negative aspect. Could that be a function of this group that's trying to control everything? Could that be a function of them telling us that to prepare us for a fake alien invasion? It could be. You know, who knows? The public is so generally clueless about everything. The CIA with its thousands of psychiatrists, psychologists, and study in these areas of populations and how they react to different information, and yeah, they could be persuading us towards some fake alien invasion like Greer insists and like T. Townsend Brown has said, and it's possible. I hope it's just that. I really hope it's not a negative alien occupation, invasion, slaughter of everything here. Torture of everything that's here, consuming us as food. People talk about the mantis beings. On my hikes through the rainforest here in Thailand, we see mantises, man. I see them eating snakes. I see them eating centipedes. I've seen them eating spiders. I've seen them eating butterflies, worms, frogs, of course, all kind of insects, bees, and things like that. They're quite good at eating things. Was it Michael Herrera? It was one of Jake Barber's co-workers in this group that said something about he had the most ridiculous mantis experience. With a mantis, he was having an experience he thought was real, and the mantis started ripping cheeks out of his face, ripping his cheeks open and eating the flesh, and blood was spurting everywhere. And the mantis said, "We have the power to do that to you." Just to show like what they could do, like to incite the fear. If there really are mantis beings, Jesus Christ, do we need to know that? I'm not sure we need to know until we need to know. Because preparation for something like that coming to us, to eat us, to devour us as food for a population of 7,000 billion mantises somewhere? Do we need to know that? We don't need any preparation. It's just, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Better that we know at the last moment, right? So the fear, the craziness, the insanity doesn't build for the next, until Easter. Anyway, Richard Dolan, I was wrong. You were right. The government's not letting any secret out like that. They have the power. There's nobody, with checks and balances, it doesn't really work because they have the power, and apparently they kill people to keep the power as well. They threaten people with guns, probably with death, probably threaten their families with death. They have the ultimate power. There's nobody that answers to them, or they don't answer to anybody. I'm sorry. I don't think it's happening now. Richard Dolan is right. I really hope for a better future. I don't see it. I feel this negative idea. It feels like something negative coming, and I'm a very, very optimistic person. I feel the negativeness of it coming. I feel like it's going to be so catastrophic. We can't come up. We couldn't imagine it. It's not just eating our kids. It's something so catastrophic, so degenerate. I hope not, but I feel that it's coming like that. All right, that's all. That's my 42-minute talk. I hope somebody gets something out of it. I certainly did, just to sit here and think about these things that I haven't thought about in a linear way, really. Yeah, good luck to everybody.